somber and, you know, good Memorial Day for those of you who are in the United States. So with that said, we are back. It's Tuesday. We're back here in the United States. We're back live all day today. My name is Terry White. I am joined by the wonderful Victoria Pavlov, who will be doing all the art today. I'm just here to kind of, monitor the comments. But let me tell you, though, for those of you who are new, a few things about this particular segment and what we're doing today and what we've been doing like for the past few weeks. So a few weeks ago, I kicked off a new segment called Getting Started With. And back then, it was like getting started with Terry White on whatever, Photoshop or Creative Cloud or InDesign or whatever the topic was of the day. So that's been going very successfully, and so we continued it. And now we have Getting Started With at 7:30 in the morning Pacific time each day with different artists and different hosts and different people doing different things. So today is no different. We're going to be doing a Getting Started With Photoshop. And, this is not the typical get started with, meaning layers and brushing and tools and all that. This is not intro to Photoshop. It's getting started with a specific feature. So in this case, it's going to be none other than the mixer brush tool. So we're going to see it from an artistic standpoint, how you can get started with this tool. Victoria's going to walk you through it from scratch and what the mixer brush is all about and how it's different than the other brushes in Photoshop. And let me take care of a couple housekeeping things, and then we will let Victoria do her thing. How are you this morning, Victoria?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. All right. So with that said, we have a full packed agenda today. So as usual, we start the morning off with the Getting Started With, or Getting Started in this case, in. And then right after us is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And then after that is Vector Art with Kervin. I don't think I've ever seen that artist. So we're going to see some vector art. And then we've got the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Julia. And then Adobe XD prototyping. And then the Adobe XD for the Daily Creative Challenge. For those of you who are in UX UI design, you got 2 segments back to back. And then a sketch party with Kathleen. Those are always fun. And then ending the day today will be a designing a virtual museum tour with Howard Pinsky and Bill. So again, I think that's going to be some UX UI stuff. So we're going to be interested to see how that all works. Now also, we're streaming on a few different platforms today, but this is always Adobe Live. So in other words, this particular segment is on Adobe Live. And if you are on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, that's great. You can hang out with us there. Where you really want to head over to, if you want to comment, if you want us to see what you're saying, if you want to ask questions, if you want to talk to Victoria, you want to head over to b.net/Adobe Live. Because again, we can only keep track of so many different chat windows. I can probably keep track of a few more since I'm not doing the art today. But if I see something that's pertinent, we'll see if I can work it in from different channels. But we're really paying attention to this particular site, b.net/Adobe Live. That's the chat that's right there, right in front of us. And that's the one we're going to be looking at and giving shout outs to and so forth and so on. So I see Austin, I see Tim Mobeast, who's keeping us all together with the moderating, and Richard and Susan, and is that Vanille, Sean, I saw Tiffany earlier, Richard, if I didn't say Richard already, Richard, great to see you here, and Stephen, and Akanksha, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, great to see you all here, and again, I see people over on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. So Samir, Ed, JR, head over to b.net/Adobe Live, and Marvelous, Joel, and Tahir, Cindy, head over to b.net/Adobe Live, and then we will continue the conversation over there. All right, so with that said, Victoria, tell us about the mixer brush tool and what makes it different than the regular brush tool.
Okay, first of all, it's my favorite tool in Photoshop. It's like my baby. I love the mixer brush tool. I'm working with these tools from the time Adobe released it. I believe it was CS5, yes. And guys,
Wait, Victoria, do I detect an accent? Like, are you from Texas?
No, I'm from Armenia. I'm from Armenia, guys, originally. So, guys, you always ask me how you can use the mixer brush tool. And today, I'm so excited, really super excited to show to you finally how you can start your project with your photo. And your photo will be today your base layer, and you can finish your painting project using only one tool. Yes, guys, one tool, the mixer brush tool. And you don't need to switch to any other color, you don't need to switch to any other brush, only one brush.
So it's like I can start with just a photo.
Yes.
And with layers, I can create a painting over that photo.
Yes.
But it won't be like just running a filter, because
No.
it will be my own brush stroke. So I'm
Absolutely.
controlling what that painting will look like over the photo.
Yes, and I would like to point out, this is not a filter. You are not applying filter to your image. You basically creating your art. You creating your artwork. You creating your painting artwork. So it's not.
So
filter.
it would be like if the photo, like imagine if you had a photo that was wet, and you're now being able to brush in the strokes over that photo to make it look like a painting. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I get it.
And it's not a filter. It's your personal. It's your unique art, and you will need to create your art brushstroke after brushstroke after brushstroke. You cannot apply one filter to convert your image to painting. Every single brush stroke will create.
Carol says, it must be serious. You have your magic glove on.
Yes, it is. So, guys, let's start.
And Richard says the mixer brush is difficult. Richard, she's going to make it really easy for you.
It's easy.
I'm not a mixer brush tool user either, but she's convinced me that I should probably start trying it.
Absolutely. And if you never painted before, if you completely far away from painting, you are designer or photographer, this tool is for you. Using this tool, you can become a great painter. Believe me.
Let's dive in and take a look at what you're going to show.
Okay, here as you can see, I have opened my image. I took this image about 5 years ago in studio. It's our models we work with, and I shot her against a white background. So this is a starting point. This is my original image. I didn't retouch this image. I didn't do anything to this image. It's a raw file. I started with this image. First of all, I removed a background. I applied another background. I used Adobe Paper Texture Pro. After that, I applied a few clipping masks, layers with clipping mask. I created these flowers like artwork over my model. Another layer is I applied some color art to her lips. Another layer, one more layer, and the last layer.
I love it.
So I started with a basic image, a model against a white background, and I created this art.
So this so far is just simple compositing.
Yes, it's simple compositing.
So this is not the mixer brush yet.
No,
okay.
It's not the mixer brush tool. You can paint over original image. I mean, this model just against a white background, and you can create very beautiful art. No problems. And if you will go on my Behance page, you will see that I have artwork I created just using my main subject against a simple background, white, black, green, doesn't matter. But today, because I love you guys, I created to do something special for you. So I composed this image, and by the way, I used all 3D objects I downloaded from Pixel Squid. All these 3D objects are ready to use. I don't have to create any 3D object from scratch. Just like this. It's easy, it's fast. I'm using Pixel Squid for 5 years, and I'm very happy.
So Steven is asking, could it be used to fix cracks that are too bad for the healing brush to handle? Like, could you smooth in like damaged photos with it?
No. Because if you're
No.
using the mixer brush tool, you will create art brush strokes.
I like a straight answer. No.
Because using mixer brush tool, you will create art brush strokes. So if it's your photo, you don't want to convert this photo to painting, so you don't need to use the mixer brush tool. But I'm using the mixer brush tool when I'm cutting out my subject from my background, and to just smooth out a little bit borders around my models, I use a mixer brush with extremely small size of brush, and I'm just smoothing out this border, but it's topic for another stream.
All right, and Julia's in the house. Hey, Julia, you're
Hi,
up.
Julia.
I think I called you out today. You're up doing something today. I forgot what it was, but
Yeah.
Julia will be up later today doing something. You can remind us in the chat what that was.
So this is my composited image. I will close this image just to leave space, don't save. And here my image. So I created another document. I brought my image. I just created with you guys, and I opened camera raw, a filter. I applied few adjustments. Also, I add extra layer with this aquamarine color to make my image more interesting. Now I will merge all visible layers just like this, and I will highlight my mixer brush tool. How you can access the mixer brush tool? Long press or brush tool, and here the last tool is the mixer brush tool. Simply click on it and voila, you can open.
Just to be clear, the mixer brush, if you haven't changed your tool palette, because you can customize your tool palette and panel in Photoshop, the mixer brush is underneath all the rest of your brushes.
Yes. So, and you can choose any mixer brush you are more comfortable with. Today we will use a soft round pressure opacity brush, just like that. And what I would like to do, I will uncheck transfer because I don't need it, and I will close my brush setting panel. Now, before we will start talking about mixer brush tool adjustments, I would like to bring your attention to our layers panel. By default, not by default, now I have only one layer. I can duplicate this layer, and I do this all the time. I will duplicate this layer, and this layer will become a layer number copy. Rename your layers. And you can start working on your project over copied a layer, or you can create a new empty layer just like that. And in the options bar, you can specify sample all layers. And in this way, your mixer brush tool with simple colors from all your layers. But be careful with this, because if you have 200, 300, 500 layers like I have sometimes, it will be Photoshop can handle pretty big files, we all know that, but still I will not recommend you if you will have more than 50-60 layers. Check sample all layers. So I will delete my empty layer, and now I have only two layers, my original layer and a duplicated layer. Now let's talk about the mixer brush tool. I will switch by default to black and white colors, but colors doesn't matter in our workflow. In the options bar, guys, I will specify first of all, clean brush after each brush stroke, because if I will specify load color after each brush stroke, Photoshop will pick color for your color swatch, and this is not working in our workflow. So make sure you're always specifying clean the brush after each brush stroke. It's important. From the default preset, always choose custom. Let's talk about wet, load, mix, and flow. Wet and load are responsible for picking color out of your canvas, picking color out of your image, and a load, how much color will be loaded to your color swatch, foreground color. Flow, mix and flow responsible for how much color you will bring back to your canvas, and flow basically opacity of your brush. It's easier way to understand.
All right, so a couple questions. I did notice one over on YouTube. It was basically about brushes. So I know you get a lot of your brushes from Kyle Webster.
Yes, I will show to
And
you.
Kyle Webster, he's the brush king. So he was
Yes.
been creating brushes for Photoshop for years and years and years. But Kyle Webster now works for Adobe, but he still gives away free brushes, I think on a monthly or quarterly basis.
Quarterly.
So quarterly basis, you get free brushes from Kyle Webster.
So if you will go to your brushes setting panel, click on this accordion, brushes menu. Click on this accordion menu and click on get more brushes.
There you go. So get more brushes right in Photoshop.
Yes.
And
you will be redirected to Adobe website where you can download all these amazing brushes.
Those are all, and that's Kyle Webster. So he's still contributing to the Photoshop community, giving away free brushes on a regular quarterly basis.
And to Adobe Fresco.
And to Adobe Fresco. Yep.
And now Kyle released a new pack. It's Spring 2020 brushes. They're amazing. Go download them and start using them right away. So.
And Paul Trandy's announced now. He says it's always fun to watch Victoria. And Paul will be up doing, I think, after us doing the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge.
Thank you, Paul. Right back to you. So, I will specify right now width, load, mix, and flow value to 100% each, not combined, each. And we will change our width, load, mix, and flow values later on. What I will do, let me close it. What I will do, I will zoom in my document. I prefer to zoom in my document. Oopsie.
You zoomed in a lot. Hit Command 0 on your keyboard. I'll probably get you back out.
I don't know what.
I think you're still zooming. Hit Command 0.
Command 0, wait.
There you go. You think you zoomed way, way out.
Yes. Let me do like this.
So if you ever lose your document because you zoomed in extremely too much or too little, Command 0 always fits the document back in Windows users Control 0.
Yes. So I'm zooming in my document in a way when I'm it's comfortable for me. And don't forget to zoom out periodically. When you're choosing your mixer brush tool, pay attention that when you're extremely zooming in your document, you will increase size of your brush automatically. So if you extremely zooming in your document, bring down size of your mixer brush tool. If you're zooming out your brush, increase size. If you're zooming out your document, increase size of your brush. It's very important. About a smoothing value, guys, I'm never using a smoothing value more than 10. I'm using smoothing value 50 when I'm working with symmetry painting. In that case, I will follow smoothing value 50% will give me time to respond which way I want to drag my brush in. So, and now I will zoom out, bring size of my brush down. I will zoom in on my document just like that. And I will start my painting. So I duplicated my original layer and just like that. Look at this, guys. Don't forget to click a short brush stroke and release your hand. Short brush stroke and release your hand. If you will zoom in your document extremely, in that case, you will create a more realistic looking image. If you will use bigger size of your brush, you will create more painting effect. You even can create your painting in Van Gogh style. It's up to you. Again, if you want to create a photorealistic image, zoom in extremely your document and bring size of your brush down. Smaller size of your brush will help you to create extremely realistic looking painting.
And I can't remember. Are you doing that on a new layer? Empty
Yes.
layer? Okay, turn off the background just so we can see that real quick. Like just...
No, not empty layer. I duplicated layer.
Got it. All right.
No. And I will show you just in a second difference between our original image layer and what we have now.
I can see it coming through now.
Yes.
On the skin tones.
Yes.
On the highlights, I mean.
Yeah. So it's not, guys, it's not a smooth transition between my brush strokes right now. We will fix it later on. So what I'm doing, I'm basically follow my original image line flow. You cannot drag your brush, example, from a right side of your cheek to the left, or from left side of her cheek to the right, because you will create completely unexpected brush stroke. It will look, I'm sorry for this word, ugly, and never do that. Preserve original image line workflow. It's always appreciated. And again, smaller size of your brush will help you to create extremely photographically looking image painting. Spend more time. If you have no time, if you want just to paint something in 1 hour, in 20 minutes, start with a very easy image. So use just one apple against a solid background. In that case, you will finish your project in 1 hour or less. More practice, faster you will be. If you have image with a lot of details, you will have you will need to spend a lot of time. And I had one image I spent around probably about 85 plus hours. If you use, again, example, female subject with a long hair, definitely you will need to spend a long more time.
All right, and you're doing this on, because I see the questions starting to come in. So you're doing this on a Wacom Cintiq 16-inch. So that's where the pen's coming from. So a lot of people love that pen. Pen doesn't do you any good without the tablet. So Wacom makes two types of tablets. They make one that just is a tablet that sits off to the side on your desk and you're looking at your regular display. And then they make what are called pen displays, where you're actually working on the display and your image at the same time. And I would imagine for this type of work, any graphics tablet or a graphics tablet is extremely important because of the pressure sensitivity.
Yes.
Could you do this with a mouse?
No. No, I
That was
can.
a loaded question.
I can, but why?
Yeah.
And it will be not, I will name it, professionally done artwork, because pressure sensitivity is our friend. I can create anything using my pressure sensitivity. So with mouse, definitely I can't.
And that's huge when you're creating this kind of work or
Yes.
doing retouching, because with a mouse or trackball or trackpad, there's a button and it's either on or off. There is no in between. There is no half down or 3/4 of the way pressed down. It's on or off. With any tablet or even your iPad or any touch surface or whatever it is you're using, the pen pressure is thousands of levels of pressure. This particular one is 8,192 levels of pressure. So from nothing all the way down to the hardest is 8,000 levels in between. So you can really control the amount of, in this case, paint you're applying, or the size of your brush, or the intensity, or anything, whatever the tool is doing. And that's why pressure sensitivity can save you not only time, but it can create art in ways that a mouse just can't do it.
More professional art.
Right. And so even with a mouse, if you were willing to go through and change the settings with every stroke, it would take you 10 times longer to do it with a mouse than it would with a pen, where you're just controlling how much you want with the amount of how hard you press down on the tablet, or in this case, on the display.
Absolutely. Example right now, if I would like to create a less visible brush stroke, I will press on my screen a lot. I will apply light pressure on my screen, just like that. And as you can see, I have a very smooth brush stroke. If I would like to create more visible brush stroke, I will press hard on my screen, and as you can see, Photoshop will create a more visible brush stroke. So let's talk about this. First of all, how I can create or adjust my shadows in my painting, because shadows and highlights always are close to each other in any painting workflow. As you notice here, I didn't have a lot of shadows around her nose area, but how I can create her nose in more 3D dimensional as 3D dimensional object, like example my nose is. I will click on this darkest shade under her nose and not applying, pressing very hard on my Wacom screen. I will just drag this shadow to the point when I will see that, yes, now I can see 3D dimensional nose, just like that. And pressure sensitivity will help you in this. Look at this. Before I will start working on her eyes and lips, if I will zoom in right now, you can see that it's like in traditional painting, I just applied bunch of brush strokes, and now I need to smooth them out. I need to create a nice transition between all these colors. And example, in traditional painting, we have a knife painting technique. If you're happy with it, it's knife painting is your style. Leave it as it is. If you would like to create smooth transition between brush strokes, in the options bar, specify a wet and a load not more than 21 each, not more. Mix it flow not more than 50 each. It's up to you. Now I will increase size of my brush just like that, and I will smooth all brush strokes. I will create smooth transition between all colors and all brush strokes. You can increase size of your brush, and don't press hard on your screen or on your tablet. Just very light touches. And look at this. And again, don't try to create entire artwork in one brush stroke. Never worked, never will work in this way.
I was wondering how you're going to smooth all that out.
Yes, like this.
It was starting to look like really like you're carving her face out, but now I see it.
Yes, and now what I will do, I've spent a little time to mix and blend all colors and brush strokes together. Bigger size of your brush will help you to create a beautiful transition between brush strokes and all colors.
All right, so another question about tablets and just touch devices. So someone asked, well, could I do the same thing on a touch screen? And the answer is maybe. It depends, because with a traditional touch screen, it's just designed for your finger. So I guess in theory, you could try your finger using that tool, and you won't have as many levels of control or pressure, but it would still be better than just click on or click off. And the other thing is, if you're thinking, oh my God, Cintiqs, they're very expensive.
No.
Well, they are, they can be, but you don't have to have a Cintiq. Any graphics tablet or any pen-based display or tablet will do it. So, like I said, a lot of the Windows laptops or devices come with pen displays. Wacom even has a new Cintiq out that's $300. That's 13 inches, not 16. Which is the lowest price you were ever able to get a Wacom branded pen display. And even if that's too much, you can get Wacom regular tablets, not the ones with displays, for under $100.
$70. I checked the price a few days ago.
So $70, which is still better than the most expensive mouse. So if you have a choice of spending, if your art is going to be your thing, I would say get a tablet any day over any other type of device for input.
Yes, because you will see later on when we will start working on her eyes painting, your pen will be extremely important. And I have small fingers, but still I cannot imagine create realistically looking eyes using my finger.
And Jan, I have an Intuos as well. The Intuos, they have an Intuos and Intuos Pro. Those are the tablets that are off to the side. I've used Intuos for years before I had Cintiq.
I still use it.
And they work just fine, and they're a lot less expensive. So if money is the concern, Go, and it does again, doesn't have to be Wacom, but go with any tablet over a mouse any day.
Absolutely. Now, guys, you can see that I smoothed out all brush strokes and colors around her face. I zoomed in my document because, as you notice, when I'm zooming in my document, I noticed that I left this area not painted, so I will fix this not perfections around her nose as well. That's why it's very important periodically to zoom in your document and zoom out your document.
So Richard's asking, and I'll answer this, is it expensive to get multi-touch for finger manipulation as well? There are Cintiqs that are, or pen displays that are just pen displays, and then there are pen displays with touch. As you might imagine, the pen displays with touch cost more. So depends on your budget. Yes, you can get both, but the ones that have both a pen and you can use your fingers on it for touch, or like maybe you're drawing or painting with one with a pen, but you're also manipulating the document, pinching and zooming with your other hand. They make them, but they do cost more. In some cases, depending on the size, could be significantly more. So it just depends on what you need, what your budget is.
So using the mixer brush tool, I started working on areas around her eye, and now we are very close to super important part in any painting, traditional or digital, doesn't matter. So give me a few seconds, I will finish this area. And if you notice, guys, I'm periodically bringing size of my brush down, and after that I'm bringing size of my brush up, depend of the area I'm working on. And look here, guys, now I painted over her area over her eye, but I destroyed eyelid this shadow. How I can bring this shadow back to life? I will increase wet, load, mix and flow value to 100% each. I will bring size of my brush down. I will find the darkest color in this area, and I will drag this color to the area when I need it, just like this. And voila, we fixed this area. Now let's talk about her eyes. I love eye painting, I love it. I will zoom in my document. In my photo retouching workflow, I definitely will retouch area around her eyes and everything, but in painting using the mixer brush tool, you need to have as many details as it possible, because basically we are manipulating our pixels. Basically we are mixing our pixels, and if we will have less details, less contrast in our image, we will basically have image like we painted using the smudge tool, and I hate smudge tool. I'm sorry. I hate it.
So mixer brush, yes. Smudge tool, no.
Never, just big no. Never use a smudge tool in painting for photographers technique.
It's more like the smear tool.
Yeah, you can use a smudge tool if you're working on digital painting from scratch sometimes, not all the times, but I'm not a big fan of smudge tool. So anyways, I will zoom in my document like that. So I extremely zoomed in. I can see every single pixel in my painting, in my document. Why? Because eyes are the most important part in any painting. I will click on my mixer brush tool. I will bring size of my brush down extremely, and I will start applying, creating brush stroke after a brush stroke. And you cannot see it right now very well because I'm extremely zoomed in my document. If I will zoom out just like that, you will preview it more clearly. And look at this, what I'm doing I'm applying brush stroke after brush stroke, pixel after pixel, because I want the main focus in my painting will be my subject's eyes, because eyes are always important. And again, follow original image line flow. Short brush stroke and release your hand. Short brush stroke and release your hand. Why? First of all, if you made mistake, you can undo with 1 or 2 or 3 steps. It's easier. And
that's an important Photoshop tip, no matter what it is, even if you're not painting. If you're even using the clone stamp tool or the regular paintbrush or the healing brush or any brush, and you do a lot, like you're like, oh, this side of the image, all the way down here, and you're just continuing with one big stroke, and then you've been doing it for like 2 minutes, and you say, oops, I made a mistake. Now when you let go, if that mistake is not easy to fix and you have to undo, you not only undid that mistake, but you undid the last 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is. So brush a little, let go. Brush a little, let go. Brush a little, let go. Brush a little, oops. Now when you do undo, you've only undone that last little oops. So it makes a big difference when you're spending time fixing or painting or doing something to an image. The longer you do it and you make a mistake, the more you're going to undo that maybe you didn't want to.
Exactly. And another tip, I'm using this all the time. Example, I finished working on, let me zoom out. I finished working on her face, and I'm happy with her face, this part of her face. And I know that I will not change anything. Maybe I will change anything, but I love this layer. I will duplicate this layer so to save it, and I will start working on another part of her image using another layer. If when I will finish working on her eye and I will say I like this eye, I will duplicate this layer. I will delete previous layers because I don't need them anymore, and I will continue working on her eye. Why? Because example, if I mess up with her eye and after half hour I will say I don't like it, I will delete eye layer, and I still will have a layer below it. So I will not delete her face painting, I will delete only her eye painting. This is important. I'm not doing this right now because I will have a lot of layers, and I'm just giving you some ideas how you can be more productive with painting in Photoshop. So I like this area in her eye, and I will start working on a white. As you can see, she has a little red vines inside her eyes. You can preserve it. Originally, I prefer to preserve it just to have original natural looking eye, but it's up to you. If you would like to preserve it, start with this red vein and just like this, and paint around it.
If you don't want to preserve it?
If you don't want, just start with a white area and just paint over it.
Okay, so the white will paint over the red, yes, or the red will maintain if you start on the red.
Yes, because you will not paint over it. Example, this little vein, I don't want to have it, so I will start with white area and I will drag my brush stroke over this red vein, and it's disappeared. Just like that. Use extremely small size of your brush for eye painting. It's very important because any eye has a lot of texture, a lot of details. Preserve all details in a human or pet eyes. It's important because eyes are always telling the story.
And do you do the same thing for eyelashes? Like
yes.
Because I was wondering how you're going to not paint over the hairs, but you're just going to paint them so that they become digital.
Yes.
Or they become painted. They're already digital.
Painted. Just in a second, I will show it you. So I'm happy with white around her eyes. Let me finish this tear area. Just like that. And now let's talk about eyelashes. Eyelashes are important. You cannot just remove eyelashes from a person's eye.
Sure you can. It just won't look real.
Yes, yes, it will look imaginally not real. Don't do this. To preserve all eyelashes, just extremely zoom in your document, just like that. Now we can see every single eyelash. Bring size of your brush down as it possible, comfortable for you, and paint over each eyelash, just like that, and between.
That's that way you can also fill them in if they're missing gaps.
Yes, just like this. Eyelash after eyelash after eyelash, and all area in between. Again, it will take a lot of time, but
it's worth it.
yes, you creating art, guys. You are not using filters, and I'm not against filters. I just never use them, very rare. And particular with digital painting, I prefer don't use any filter, because guys, yes, it's digital painting, but it's our painting, it's a unique painting, so I can spend more time and create something unique. When you run filter, example, I and Terry will have same image or different images, and we will run same filter. Even if we will adjust parameters of filters, we will have a very identical painting. So anyone can look and say, oh, you used that filter or this filter.
This is all custom.
Yes, this is a painting. You are creating your own unique painting using your image, or image you bought from Adobe stock, or image you took using your iPhone camera or any other a mobile device camera or professional camera. Doesn't matter. You are creating your art.
All right, so I know some of you might have joined after the start of this, so just a couple reminders. So the chat is taking place over on b.net/Adobe Live. That's where we're paying attention to the chat. So I see comments coming in on other platforms, and that's great that you guys are hanging out watching. But if you're saying, how come he's not paying attention to my question? It's because I'm paying attention to the ones over on Behance. Although I did see one about the free brushes again. Give us free brushes. And we did that earlier. So if you go to your brushes panel in Photoshop and go to the flyout menu, get more brushes, that's where you can go get some free brushes today. You don't have to wait. You can go do it right now.
More than, I believe, 3,000 free brushes,
3,000 free brushes. Right in Photoshop, right on your brushes panel flyout menu. So we did show that earlier as well. So again, if you want to join us in the chat, head over to b.net/Adobe Live. That's where we are. That's where I'm looking at the chat right now as we speak. So I see Alberto there. I see Jan, Ivan, Nicholas. Welcome, everyone. Richard, is that goop in her eye? Yeah, it could be. All right. So with that said, Victoria's going to continue now, and I'm going to continue to look at the chat and make sure we're not missing anything, hopefully.
About free brushes, guys, the best part, you can download these brushes for free if you're a Creative Cloud subscriber, and you can use these brushes even in Adobe Fresco. Simply drag your favorite Photoshop brush to your Creative Cloud library, open this library in Adobe Fresco, and you're ready to go. You can use your favorite Photoshop brush in Adobe Fresco. Even Fresco has a lot of default amazing brushes, but still, example, if I would like to start working on my project in Photoshop and finish my project in Fresco using same brushes, because I would like to have same brush strokes, I will use my brushes in Photoshop, in Fresco, in Fresco as well. So let me, guys, I can spend a lot of time on her eye, but if I can, I would like to finish my painting during this stream. So I will go faster, and you have idea. So if you want to have realistic looking painting, just bring size of your brush down, and you will create a more realistic looking image. Just like that. Same with this part of her eye, you need to paint a lash after lash, so small brush strokes.
And Steve said it looks very cool, Victoria.
Thank you. I appreciated it. I love the mixer brush tool. As I said, it's my baby. So what I will do here, guys, again, we can spend more time creating a realistic looking eye, but we don't have a lot of time. We have 38 minutes left. What I will do, I will bring width value to 12, same with load, not more than 21, mix and a flow not more than 50. I will increase size of my brush slightly, just like that, and I will smooth this area out just like that. And again, I'm not pressing on my screen very hard, so just like that. And voila, look at her eye. Again, if you will increase size of your brush, you will apply bigger brush stroke. It's up to you. So I feel I will mess up if I will continue doing this, because it's my style to create more realistic eye. So I will leave it as it is. If we will have time, I will come back to it later. And what I would like to do, guys, I would like to show to you before and after. So far it's before.
All right, yeah, zoom in.
And it's after. This is before. And this is after.
All right, so yeah, we can see your paint strokes now very clearly.
Now let's talk about this cloud. I will increase size of my brush just like that, because it's cloud. I would like to have my cloud puffy, and I will increase everything with load, mix, flow to 100% each, and I will apply very fast a lot of brush strokes around. But even if I'm working fast, I'm preserving original image line flow, because it's important. You can make your brush stroke bigger with a cloud, with this cloud, just like that. And look at this, just like that.
So clouds go a little faster and there's less detail.
Yeah. And I love to have my clouds in more a puffy style, because it's like more breathing and moving object. And again, we will do same. We will smooth out all brush strokes and transition between colors, bringing down value in wet, load, mix, and flow, just like this.
Very cool.
Thank you. We're going faster, faster, and faster.
It always goes faster towards the time limit.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to show very important part in any painting, face and eyes. It's important. And now we are working with clouds. They're important, but not as much as...
They are.
Yeah.
And you can, if you do that on a separate layer, then you can also control the opacity.
Yes, but I prefer don't do this, because if I will bring down opacity,
then you see through to the non-painted version.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly. It's our one cloud example. Again, you can spend more time. What I will do right now, I will bring everything, all values down for each. Just like that. I will increase size of my brush, just like that. And look at this. We will blend everything together. And I'm not pressing on my screen very hard. I'm applying a light brush strokes. To apply light brush strokes, hold your pen a little bit in the middle. It will help you to control pressure sensitivity in a way you like. It's my way right now. If I would like to have more press harder, I keep my pen close to pen tip. If I would like to apply light brush stroke, I'm holding in the middle. Like in traditional painting.
Now, so I missed it. Do you go out to the edge of the cloud, or you change brush size, or what do you do on the edges?
Because I brought down a value for wet, load, mix, and flow as usual, I can smooth out edges of my cloud using this setting. But I need to use a smaller size of my brush. Just like this. Look at this. You can see her skin through the cloud, but still we have more cloudy illusion. Just like that. And we are done with our cloud. Just like that. This is before, this is after. Let's talk about this beautiful animal, giraffe. He is very, very cute. So I will extremely zoom in my document. I will bring size of my brush down just like that. Maybe more. I will increase wet, load, mix, and flow 200% each. And I will do same. I will start applying short brush strokes. And again, guys, follow original image line flow. Just like that. And guys, in this particular example, we combined 2D image with 3D objects. So our cloud, our flowers over her neck, and this giraffe are 3D object, and we combined everything together, and we are creating this beautiful art using combination of 3D and 2D images or objects. So you can even create your painting using 3D objects. Just like this.
So I believe it's Malinga is saying, I'm loving this. Definitely will give it a try. Tiffany says it's awesome.
Thank you guys. Hi Tiffany. So good to see you here. Just like that. And as you can see, I follow original image line flow. And example, if you will click on your part of your image and you will just do circle movement, you will create just smooth effect over your painting. Never do it.
So the key is strokes back and forth, not in a circle.
Back and forth, and control how far back you are going. I prefer short brush strokes always forward. If it's a difficult part and you can see through your brush stroke, apply just one back movement, just one, not more. Because in that way you are creating real brush stroke. If you will move back and forth, you will create just mess.
And as a beginner to the mixer brush tool, when do you decide to change the settings, wet, flow, and I forgot what the other one is?
Wet, load, mix, and flow value 100% each when I want to create a visible brush stroke. I'm bringing a wet, load value under 20 each, and a mix and flow value under 50 each when I want to blend my brush strokes and colors together. It's important. And again, I will bring size of my brush down. If I will start, example, working on my portrait, and I will start paint part of my forehead and a part of my hair, the line between my forehead and hair, if I will continue using a wet, a load, a mix and flow 100% each, I will have a very not realistic looking transition between my forehead and my hair. So I will bring wet and load to under 21 each, and I will bring mix and flow under 50 each, and I will blend this line perfectly. Same with eyebrows. And still, patience, guys. Patience is necessary to have in any painting. Look at this. And I will smooth it around. We have 26 minutes. Oh, we have time. Again, guys, you have time more than I have today. Zoom in your document, use a smaller size of your brush, and create realistically looking painting.
So Peter, you said you updated Photoshop, but the mixer brush tool is not in the tools panel. It is located under your brush. So the brush has
Here.
4 brushes. There it is. It's if you
The last.
press and hold on your brush, it'll be the last brush there. Now, if you rearrange your tools, then it depends on where you put it.
Reset your tool.
Yeah, reset your tool panel, but it should be there under the brushes.
Mixer brush is still there.
And if you somehow maybe turned it off, those 3 little dots at the bottom of the tool panel
Here.
let you get to all the tools you've turned off. So I would check in one of those 2 places.
Or you can restore your toolbar from Edit Toolbar, and let me bring it in here and click on Restore Default.
That'll do it as well.
Yeah. Just like this. If you noticed, I added a little bit aquamarine color to giraffe eyes, just to make harmony with her eye. Just extra layer. Just like this, and this is before, this is after so far. Again, guys, more time.
Also, keep in mind, you can make your own brushes from objects around you using Adobe Capture on your mobile device. So Adobe Capture is a free app on iOS and Android, and you can go download it from your respective app stores. And once you download it, you can create a brush from anything around you. You can create a brush from your I don't know, your desk, your chair, your whatever's on your desk. People, you can make brushes and sync them into Photoshop, and you can use those with Photoshop or the mixer brush.
No, I don't know if you can use mixer brush too.
Oh, okay. We can use them in Photoshop. Don't know if we can use them with the mixer brush. You've not tried a custom brush from Capture?
No, I tried custom.
I mean, in the mixer brush.
No, yeah. I don't know.
Now we gotta try that.
Yes, I will try after our stream. I never tried. Just like this. And now we in giraffe eyes area, just like this. Fast, fast, fast. I will post this image after our stream when I will finish it. I definitely will not finish it on time, even if I'm trying so hard.
And Robert brings up a good point. In the upper right corner of Photoshop, there's a magnifying glass. And that magnifying glass all the way in the upper right corner is search. So if you were searching for a tool you just couldn't find, you can type in mixer brush tool and it will find it for you. So you just can't find a tool. The search is there and it will search tools. It'll search for tutorials. It'll search for all kinds of things. So don't forget that Photoshop does have a search.
Yeah. It's a very great feature.
So Richard's asking, here Richard, I'm going to give it to you. I'll give it to you verbally as well. But Richard's asking, hey Victoria, do you have these techniques somewhere?
Yes.
So I'm putting in a link to Victoria's YouTube channel, which is VP for Victoria Pavlov, TV for television. So vptv.me. So if you head over to vptv.me, she's got a big YouTube channel with, I'm guessing, at least one mixer brush video.
Yes, and I'm planning to have more.
Probably hundreds. So yeah, you can head over there, and she's got a lot of tutorials on everything Photoshop, Dimension, Illustrator. So you can head over there.
Fresco.
If it's digital and it's art, she's got a tutorial for it.
So I will increase size of my brush just like that, because this area has not too much information, and just like that.
Now take the dot out, Jan. There's no dot after VP. It's just vptv.me. So here, let me give it to you. So I've given you now the clickable link. You can go straight to it from there.
And we will continue working on our giraffe. We have 23 minutes left. So let me zoom out just for you to preview, and let me show to you before and after so far. This is before and this is after. Look guys, it's our custom. Unique
custom,
painting.
unique, not a filter.
Absolutely not.
No two will be the same.
No. Even if you would like to repaint this a second time, you will never have the same result.
You'll never have the same 1,000 strokes in a row.
No.
So, yeah, it will be different every time.
Yeah, same like with traditional painting. Example, you painted something, and your family member or your client asked to paint same portrait for him or her. You will paint again, and you will never have same painting. If you messed up like I did right now, you applied extra brush stroke, example, just like this. Don't get frustrated. Simply click on a white area next to it and drag it in, just like this. And you will fix it. You will clean up everything around. Look, now we have clean edges. So drag on any color, click on it and drag it in. If you would like to drag it out, simply click on this brown spot and drag it out, just like that. You can fix anything using the mixer brush tool.
And Richard says the composition reminds me of Russian literature. No?
Yes. When I was in elementary school at age 5, I believe, we had alphabet book when we learned how to read, and we have a lot of letters with different animals, and giraffe was one of them.
Wow. Richard, kudos to you.
Yes.
Richard's worldly.
So now guys, still technique I will apply to rest of my giraffe, but I would like to show to you how you can work with background. This background has a lot of texture. This background is painted. I applied Adobe Paper Texture Pro, and I applied painting texture. So you have two options. You have options to paint over it, or you can leave it as it is because it's already painted a background. If you would like to paint it, I will duplicate my layer just like that. I will zoom in. I will switch to my mixer brush tool, wet, load, mix, and flow 100% each, and I will paint over it just like that. And here, guys, you have freedom to follow your background original line flow, or you can create anything you like because it's background. You can create abstract background. The line, this line between my subject and my background is very important. When I will finish this, painting this area close to her face and a neck, just like this, I'm using smaller size of my brush. I will zoom in my document. I will bring size of my mixer brush down more. And I will just apply very short brush stroke and I will release my hand just like that. And I will smooth a line between my subject and her background. It's important, just like that. Look at this. Now we have very nice transition and we didn't paint her ear yet, so we can do it while we're here. Just like this. See guys, how easy is it? Let's talk about her flowers in here. We have flowers with a lot of details. Personally, I prefer to keep my viewers' attention to my subject face because it's a main point in my art, but I would like to preserve details, all these flowers details. So what I will do, I will zoom in my document, I will increase size of my brush, just like that, and I will paint over my flowers. So I'm kind of preserving details in my flowers, but I'm not bringing my viewers' attention right to my flowers right away. So first, what my viewer will do from the first time, he or she will look at my subject face and or eyes, and this is the most important part in my painting. Look at this. So I still have this flower. I still can clearly see all details in my flower, but my flower not overloaded with all details. I use this flower again as a 3D object from pixelsquid.com, but I don't need all these details in my painting. So I'm smoothing out all details. Just like this. And same here. I even can destroy transition between flower and her skin just to make it more interesting. And again, we will smooth everything later on, changing wet, load, mix, and flow to lower value. So guys, what do you think?
I think it looks great.
Thank you. Will you use mixer brush tool? I hope yes. Please say yes.
Okay, I'm going to say yes. Now, I have a question about the background.
Yes.
So the background, I know you created with Adobe Paper Texture Pro,
Yes.
which is, some people are saying it's not available anymore on the extensions.
Okay.
But in either case, don't worry about where you got it from. Is like the background itself looks painted. So
Yes.
would you keep it that way or would you paint over it?
I will keep it. I will keep it like it is in this particular painting because it's like surreal art, and I would like to keep this background. And if I would like to create a more Renaissance looking art in a Renaissance technique, I will paint over it. But if you don't have this texture, no problem. You can create this texture directly in Photoshop. You can create a new background, switch to any color you like. Example, I will pick color from her skin tone. I will switch to brush tool. Let me open my brushes panel. And here, guys, I have tons of brushes I downloaded from Adobe, all created by Kyle Webster. I will click on a watercolor brush. Just like that. I will increase size of my brush, and I will create, and I will increase flow to 100%, and I will create my own background. I will switch to different colors, just like that. Example, I will use yellow, and I will create my own background.
Cool.
Look
so
at
even
this.
if you don't have Paper Texture Pro, you can make your own backgrounds with just brushing.
Look at this. Same, and watercolor brushes in Photoshop, absolutely amazing. They will blend, Photoshop will blend everything together. Look at this. So it's up to you.
I want to try those now more than the mixer brush tool, the watercolor brushes.
Yeah, I love watercolor brushes. So let's switch back to my mixer brush tool. I will increase zoom in my document, and I will continue working on our painting. We have 14 minutes left. Again,
So Steve's asking a question. I don't know the answer, but is there a name for the lipstick style with the enhanced part in the middle, like that strip in the middle? Is there a name for that?
no, I love this particular makeup because few years ago I was working on some one of my favorite projects in my studio, and my makeup artist, who is absolutely amazing, she created this makeup over my subject model's face, and after that I fell in love with it, and I'm using pretty much very often in my art. Thank you for reminding me about her lips. Human lips has a lot of texture, more than a pet's lips. So try to preserve as much details as you can, because look at this, we have highlights, we have shadows. Highlights and shadows will create texture. To do so, bring size of your brush down. I have nice size, and I will start with highlights, one brush stroke, just like that, and I will release my hand. One brush stroke, and I will release my hand, just like that. And now I will start with doing same with shadows, and after you will finish entire mouth, you will have same effect like we had in our face. We will have a lot of brush strokes with absolutely not acceptable transition between them. We will smooth out everything. So just like that.
So someone said, Jan, I think it was geisha style, like Japanese geisha style makeup. That is definitely what it reminds us of.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But
I would say start with that.
yes.
You're trying to communicate it to someone that at least gets the vision there.
Yeah, but we worked on another project and I think now it's very popular makeup. I saw it at least many times online. So I will continue applying a brush strokes.
So Tiffany says, love it. Austin says, looks amazing. Renee says, very, very beautiful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I will continue applying these small brush strokes over her lips. But lips has a 3D dimensional view, 3D dimensional illusion. It's like, if you will look at my lips, my bottom lip is more sticking out, so it's more like shaped out. To preserve her any human's original lip line flow, bottom of her lip, you can see we have a lot of shadow because it's bottom. Paint from side to side, just like this.
So as opposed to the middle where you're going up and down?
Yeah, yes, just like this. When you will finish with bottom of her lip, you can continue doing from top to bottom, just like that. And look, now we have 3D dimensional looking lip as in real life, just like this. And again, if you like a more impressionism style, and I love this style, you can leave it as it is, just smooth it a little bit, smooth up. If you like to create more Renaissance looking art, or like old painting, smooth everything, bring everything in harmony later on. So let me finish her bottom lip, just like that. And now, guys, I will do same, and this is important. Look, this is before and this is after. I like her bottom lip as I painted, but I would like to add a little bit more harmony to my painting. What I will do, no surprise in here, same. I will change value of my tool, just like that, and I will smooth everything, bring everything in harmony.
Jan, you're absolutely right. It's not geisha makeup, it's Padme makeup from Star Wars.
Oh, I love Star Wars.
Oh, for those of you who watched the Star Wars movies, you will get that reference. For those of you who haven't, don't worry about it.
Look at this. Now everything in harmony. We have a lot of texture. We preserved all texture over her lips, but we painted it. Okay, area which is next between her lips and her skin supposed to be supposed to have very nice transition. So increase size of your brush, not too much, maybe 1 point, and just brush it over lightly. Don't press hard, just like that. And look. Now we have realistic looking skin around her lips, just like that. Look, let's zoom in. Why I'm zooming in periodically? Look at this. I zoomed in and I see that I missed this area. So I will bring size of my brush down and I will paint over this area because I missed it. So zooming in periodically your document will help you to see if you missed any details. And if you missed anything, fix it right away. Never leave anything not painted, because in that case your image will be half painted, half photo. It's not art, guys.
Unfortunately, I don't know of a replacement to Adobe Paper Texture Pro. We're all saddened by it not being there right now, but
you can buy this from let me open. If you will go to extensions, Adobe Paper Texture Pro, like I have opened on another monitor, let me open it. If you will click on Fly Paper Texture, you will be redirected to their website, and here they have a lot of different textures you can buy. These all packages from $20 and up. They are great. I love them. So but the last time I contacted this company, they said this you cannot use it like I'm using right now with my extension. Let me close it. Example, if I will click on I'll click on any paper texture. I will apply this texture with as a separate layer with a layer mask. If you will download this from their website, you will be not able to use it like it is. So you will be able to apply texture as separate layer, but you will need to create a layer mask by yourself. So this is only the differences.
So if you still have Paper Texture Pro, as you just saw, it still works. It's just you can't, if you don't have it, you can't go get it again.
Yeah. So my brush and... But I can guarantee you can create same texture using Kyle brushes. We have different packages of brushes, special effect brushes and everything. Combination of multiple brushes, you can create your own texture. Top lip is always darker because it's on top, sticking out more than bottom lip. Keep it in mind. And what I will do, we have 5 minutes left.
Exactly, 5 minutes and 8 seconds.
So fast. So fast, and I always want to explain everything in better way, easier to understand. So I always want you, after my streams, you always go and create something. Because it's easy, guys. Everything is easy in Photoshop. So like this and this area. Again, use a smaller size of your brush in subject lips area because we want to preserve all texture around here. Now what I will do, I will change value as always of my mixer brush tool. I will increase size of my brush, and by the way, you don't have to change value of your brush mixer brush tool setting all the time. Example, if you you will be back to same setting of your brush, save this brush to your
brushes presets.
Yes, brushes presets, and you will need just to switch between brushes. Keep your brush preset open all the time, and it will be much faster and easier. I just doing this in this way during this stream just to show to you visually, show to you that you need to switch between different settings. As we all know, a year ago, Photoshop team introduced the new brush presets organization, which I love. And everything is much easier now. So this is our ellipse. Let me zoom out. And I will show to you before. This is how we started from. And this is so far after. What I will do after our stream, I will continue working on it. So what I want to do right now, let's talk about her eyebrows. Same, a very dangerous area. Not to mess up with all texture, we will bring size of our brush down. We will increase a value of mixer brush tool to 100%, everything, and we will paint one hair string after another, just like that, because we don't need to have one big mess. We want to preserve.
That's also something that a filter would probably be a whole lot less forgiving for. A filter is just going to run a filter, whereas now you're going in hair by hair and painting the hairs back in that you want.
Absolutely. And can you imagine if you're working on subject with long hair, example like mine, I definitely would like to preserve details in my hair. So hair by hair drawing, super appreciated. Just like this. Hair by hair.
Hair by hair.
Yes.
How long does it take you on your average mixer brush painting?
Depend of my subject. If I have subject with a lot of details, it can take up to 100 hours. Depends of all details. If I have less details in my image, I can finish in 20 minutes. Like I know.
So anywhere from 20 minutes to a few days.
A few days, right.
Got it. So Peter's asking, hey Victoria, do you add colors over the piece? And the answer is no, because the mixer brush is mixing the existing colors.
If I would like to add color using the mixer brush tool, I will specify that I would like to add color after each brush stroke.
You can.
Yes, and the color will be depends of color in your foreground color. Photoshop will use your foreground color. So, but because I'm using existing image, I don't want any color applied over my image. I always specify clean my brush after each brush stroke. So Photoshop will apply fresh paint to each brush stroke. And after I applied brush stroke, Photoshop will clean up any color information from my brush.
All right, so I got about 10 seconds left. We're gonna zoom out and show them what it looks like. Show them the before and after.
This is before, guys, and this is after.
So the after is the painted layer on top.
Yes.
All with one tool, mixer brush tool, varying the size of the brush, varying the settings, and just taking time to paint back in your photo to have it be painted.
Yes, and guys.
I've seen you paint with an empty canvas, and I've seen you paint with these strokes. So which is easier?
Um, both, both, guys, both.
Both?
Yeah.
Both? Come on. This one has got to be easier than the other
If
one.
you okay, if you're a photographer, if you never painted before, if you don't have any painting experience, but you would love to create art, this technique, the mixer brush tool, I'm naming this technique painting for photographers. So you don't need to be a painter, you don't need to have any painting experience. Just open any image, use this image as your base layer, and paint over it using your mixer brush tool.
All right. So again, up next is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We have a full day ahead of us. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be back for more. I know Victoria's back on Adobe Live next week. So thanks, everybody. Cheers, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one. Stay tuned for more. Bye.